As we're coming out of a pandemic, one of the things that we need to be mindful of is that people want to get genuine connection. As you are going back into your day-to-day effort as a sales professional, I want you to look for ways of how you can make that genuine connection. My guest today is going to tell you one of those strategies, and it's a strategy that can help you to generate more business. His name is Mr. Darin Dawson. He's the co-founder of an amazing company. You may have heard of them. Maybe once or twice I've mentioned their name. It's called BombBomb. Pretty cool stuff. You're going to hear how I use BombBomb and hear some great stories in this experience today. Yes, it's an experience. Let's go ahead and dive in. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist podcast here on TSC TV on YouTube. I'm your host, Donald Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, we have Mr. Darin Dawson, who's going to talk to us about his amazing concepts, these principles of how we can utilize video to generate more business coming out of this pandemic. There's some amazing ideas that you could take advantage of. And it's not just with prospecting. You're going to hear me share my story about how we were able to generate a new business opportunity and a proposal and potentially a new client now because of using video. However, this could be implemented throughout your whole sales journey and also not even with customers, with the team members. You're going to hear what he's recommends, some of the stories, some of the experiences. As I mentioned in the teaser, this is going to be experience today because I promise you're going to leave with some things that can help you to truly thrive in your business. Listen, I don't want to take up much more time. We have some great stuff. Let's go ahead and dive in. Darin, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Of course, man. We've had some fellow BombBombites on the podcast, and so I think you're our third team member from BombBomb to join us, and we appreciate your service. We appreciate all you guys are doing and the solution you have. So when I saw that you guys reached out, I was like, of course we got to bring BombBomb on. You guys have so many great ideas, and especially right now going into the post-pandemic where a lot of people are getting their vaccine and we're getting back into an interesting world. I figured it'd be great to have this discussion and to pick your brain a little bit. Fair enough?
Fair enough. That'd be great. I'd love to do it. That'd be fun. I'll tell you, Donald, I think you probably had the best of our team before me. Those guys, I know who they were. They're fantastic. So I'll do my best to keep up with those guys, though.
I'm sure you're going to bring us tremendous value, so I have nothing to worry about. With that vein, though, tell us, what's your role at BombBomb? What do you do right now?
I'm the president and co-founder. So I'm proud to say I hired both of those guys. You always hire smarter than yourself is what I try to do, and I've worked with both Ethan and Steve. I worked with Ethan, a fun fact, for 15 years now. So I've only been a BombBomb for 10 only. And he and I both worked at a TV station together when we were young and upcoming. So it was a lot of fun. So I've known those guys a long time. So yeah, but I run basically sales marketing. To answer your question, sales marketing and customer success.
Okay, so because he mentioned the fact that he had TV experience when I first chat with
that's right.
Ethan about doing something. That's pretty cool. That's neat. And I think this is why you guys make such a great organization, because you come with that background from video, understand the power of what video could offer.
That was one of the emphases of starting BombBomb. It was, man, why is everybody paying so much to broadcast? Right, this idea that you could broadcast yourself, have your own following. Seth Godin was big at that point. This was 2006-ish, and we just thought a lot about that. And turned out that was something. That was right. Yeah.
Yeah, something to it, man. There's so much power in that. We'll tap into that a little bit. Let's go into this idea. We're in a world right now where people are getting vaccinated. They're getting their vaccine. They're getting life back to going over to see grandma and so forth. But there's still this huge shift that we've made when it comes towards business. A lot more people are using tools like Zoom to have interaction, have meetings. However, I think life has altered just a little bit because now we're further into the future. COVID pushed us further. So I want to get your feelings, your thoughts on how video can help us in this post-COVID era, or getting back into this world post-COVID. How can videos help us increase sales in that capacity?
Yeah, I think when it comes down to it, something that pandemic maybe taught us is how can we compete on customer experience? How can we deliver a unique customer experience to the folks that we work with, and that maybe either in my case work for us, that are employees, or even in your construct that you're reaching out to in a sales motion, or that even our existing customers. And so I think I'll start there because that was your question,
Sure.
but we can go into some of those others maybe too. I think video gave you the ability to create a customer experience that was different than your competitors through the pandemic. Everybody kind of stumbled into it more. I mean, we had a bunch of customers before this. We've got a bunch of customers because of it too. And what we're seeing is they're not leaving it because they can be themselves and they can be unique and they can really shine using video. Look, especially if you're in a software company, it's really hard to compete on features, right? Because when it comes down to it, look, if you have a feature I don't have and vice versa, all I need is time and money, which are both, time's harder than money these days. So I can build it, right? So what are you going to compete on? What's going to be your real unique feature? And I really believe that this is your people. And, a lot of times, well, even more recently, before the pandemic and even during it, we've really, it seems, ramped up the assault on email, LinkedIn, text, everything, all this communication just elevated. Those are all good things. I just believe that, man, how do we stand out in all of that barrage, right? So when we get off this call, I'll have a ton of communication coming at me, asking for my time, and it really all feels and sounds the same, but every human being in this planet is unique and different, and I believe they all have intrinsic value. And I hired people on my team because how good they were face to face, how good they were in sitting down and talking with you, having a coffee, maybe having a beer. And I think that what we had to do in some ways is handcuff their best abilities, right? You couldn't be face to face. You really couldn't do these things. So, and now the phone is almost taken off the board because I don't answer it unless your name's in it. Right, I don't really answer that. I'm going to listen for a voicemail and then decide. So I think it's really tough. And the only phone you're getting is this one. I haven't had a desk phone in 7 years. So I think those have changed. So how can we change that? I think video is a real good way to change that. To send yourself, to be personal, not personalized, right? Be personal, not personalized. I think that's the way to do it. So if you're a BDR in a BDR role, go ahead.
What's the difference between that?
Yeah, to me, I get a lot of personalized. Like they know my name. That could be form filled, right? Or listen, let me ask you a question. When you get an email, even when it says your name, says Donald, do you believe that it actually came from a human anymore?
No.
You can say yes if you disagree. I don't either. I don't believe it anymore. I think that's the problem.
What I've seen is, especially more so now, I probably could pull up my email. I can show you some if we were to do share screen here, because there's at the very bottom, because Google will ding them if it says like, you can, click here to remove yourself from this email, from this
right.
whatever, this email. What they've said, they try to, do cutesy terms. If you no longer want to hear from me, or if something else, and it's because they're using the I'm a fan of proper automation.
Yeah, I
am
am too.
When you use that automation and it becomes your crutch, and that's your main way of having a communication, it becomes null. We become numb to it. So whenever I get those emails, I look at that, and then I skip down to the very bottom, because I'm looking at right now 172 emails in my inbox. Which ones I'm going to spend the time to go into and to read? You know what I mean?
And that's my point. So your question was, how can video help with this? I think you can be personal. I think I could send a video to you and say, hey, Donald, how you doing? My name's Darin. Hey, I just really love the podcast you did with XYZ guest. Really, what I loved about it was this, and this. And then what we do is we actually do this. That's personal. We got to get back. And I think, and I read about this, I think you would agree with me, we need to get more refined on who our ideal customer profile is. And if we can do that, that message is more effective, because it's not, you need velocity, or because we get all the time, well, how can you scale this? Well, somewhat you do need to scale it, but at the same time, what if you're just talking to the right person and solving the problem that they had, and that you believe that your salespeople have these abilities they're good in front of people. Now, if you don't believe that, you got a different problem to handle, and maybe you want to think about that, right? But I do. I think that getting my people more face-to-face, more often with the folks, is going to help my business versus hurt it. And we're going to set more appointments, and we're going to deliver more proposals, and we're going to close more deals. There's another instance I think that's really interesting that I saw take place.
Sure.
People using video, sending a proposal. So we allow for screen recording, right? You can do screen recording. It's really interesting. And when you screen record, you can deliver a proposal. You can review it and go over it. What we've seen happening is they'll send that out, and then that proposal gets bounced around to different decision makers within the group, right? Now, it used to be you didn't know what was happening. So we track the video views, we track what's happening with that communication. And then we start to see what's going on with that. Now you are starting to identify that buyer group a little bit better than you might have. Before, you'd have to set another meeting or try and get all the people in one place. Now that proposal delivery is being sent around. So it actually is collapsing in some cases the time to close, which is very interesting, right? And so I think that convenience to the recipient is really interesting. We focus more on that recipient experience at BombBomb than we do on your experience sending videos, right? we want the recipient experience to be the best experience because that's your customer. I focus more on your customer than I do on mine, which is you. Does that make sense?
It does.
So that's a big deal to us.
And I think, so let's go back. There's so much in that. And can I give a real world experience?
Sure.
I'm working with this organization right now. Proposal is going to the next step. I should have done the screen recording. We did a proposal review together, and with the VP of sales and sales director, but the CFO is the one with some money, and he has to put his input inside of this as well. So anyways, that's the next step. What happened was this organization, the VP of sales gets tons of emails. And I left a voicemail, and then she did like what you did. So I sent a quick message on BombBomb, just sent a video saying, and my subject line was left a voicemail ... or something. Hey, left a voicemail. I wanted to introduce myself. I figured it'd be great to put a face with a name. She watched that video probably 4 or 5 times, sent it around. Several times watched, and then the next thing came back. It was schedule an appointment. When I asked why she scheduled the appointment, she said, you broke through the clutter. This is what we're trying to figure out to do right now, my team, when it comes towards email. Because we're getting so many emails, and we're trying to do more biz dev, and it led to where we are right now. It's accelerated the opportunity because of that communication. Now, is she getting emails from other people talking about program? Of course. And I think but the fact that she saw that I broke through the clutter, she realized this could help her break through the clutter. So anyways, you may get another customer from that, but it'll be an opportunity for our team to do some biz dev training on them too.
That's great. I appreciate it. I mean, we've heard that story time and time again. I think I proved my original point, which is when I see a human being talking to me, that stands out as different. And I believe that through that whole process, now you're going to go into you're in this proposal review process. You're going to have a lot of dialogue back and forth. Yeah. And maybe it's with other competitors in the environment as well. I believe if you're using video to do that dialogue back and forth more than text email, it affects people. You're building relationships. Relationships aren't built through black text on a white screen. Maybe it could be, but it's not as good as being face to face with another human being. And especially for salespeople, that's your gift. That's why you have the job with an unlimited potential, that you can scale your income because you have these abilities, right? So I think what the pandemic taught us is we got handcuffed on those abilities. What are ways we need to bring those abilities forward in front and center? And I think video is one of the easiest ways to do that. The thing you touched on there too is it's asynchronous, not synchronous, right? So Zoom is synchronous. It's real time. It takes time from you and I in sync to have it. You sent a video to someone that was asynchronous, meaning they could watch it on their time when it was convenient for them. You sent it on your time when it was convenient for you. And then they're able to watch it. You knew when they watched it, and then you could create this conversation back and forth. I think that's really interesting. This ability to do that and let them see it on their time. They can send it around. It can also be watched by these other people. So that's a very, very strong argument for why you might want to do something like this, in my opinion. Everyone wants to focus on using video for the initial appointment or the initial deal. I like that. I like it more for the experience of the customer in the sales process, from that original demo to close, even especially if you're in a competitive position, right? If you got multiple people that they're looking at, will you be more likely to win? This is a question I'd ask yourself. Will you be more likely to win if you're face-to-face or not? I can't imagine any real salesperson saying, I'd rather not be face-to-face. I just can't see it. So anyway, I like to ask questions, let people think for themselves and answer it for themselves. And then you can give it a try and you can judge for yourself if it works or not.
You emphasize the idea of the more than business development, because a lot of people in their mind clearly now just been open, like saying, holy crap, you tell me I can send a video for other purposes than just get biz dev. But what are some other things that some ways that you have seen video being used to increase sales post this coming out of the back end of this pandemic thing? Now you kind of alluded to some of them already, but maybe you can give us some more stuff.
Yeah, so it all centers on building this initial relationship. I'm going to tell you that if you're using video in that process, you're going to build a better relationship. Now, what that will help you with, let's say you get an initial deal. Sometimes in these deals, the deal size is smaller than you want it to be in the beginning. Okay, we're going to run a pilot of this size. We're going to do an initial phase of, 50 users or 100 users, but they have a potential of 200, 300 users. How do I accelerate that expansion? Relationship is one of the best ways to accelerate into an expansion too. So this could be either on the customer success side with a CSM and onboarding, right? Using video and onboarding. Again, we're building and deepening these relationships. So they get used to getting emails from you and getting videos from you. And that's sort of like an old school voicemail. A matter of first time the email was invented. When they get the videos, they watch them when you have a relationship. Yeah. So I'd argue that even the woman that you sent that email to before, you might have had an existing relationship. Existing relationship is one of the best ways to get your information opened, right? Whatever it is. But then when it's a video, again, we're doubling down on that. And so in that expansion movement, to get the other 100 seats, expand. Yeah. The quicker we can expand in a SaaS model or any kind of business model by that, it's better, right? So in the first 6 months, you'd love to get the extra 100 seats done. So whether that be still something that's a sales task for your team or someone in a customer success role, again, it's about the experience and it's about building relationships. This is still how business is done. As far as I can tell, it's still about buying things from people you know, like, and trust. That's as old as sales. And so how do we build know, like, and trust? What does trust mean? How do we actually trust people? I think you got to see them. I think you got to, our communication is much more nonverbal than verbal. And so we get the feeling of trust. You can't get feeling from text.
No.
In fact, you might get the wrong feeling. Look at social media. I get the wrong feeling when I participate in social media. It makes my heart pound out. Like, it's just bad. It's just bad communication. It's not full. Okay, it's not the full experience of in a human context.
Yeah. So you're saying adjust our sales process, or not just adjust, fine tune our sales process, build out, because the study's showing. I mean, I even put a little note down here. Like, I don't think that I've sent, or even being the CEO of my company, a video to some of these past customers that we've done business with. And I'm thinking that's on my calendar, like, this week. Like, there's probably some ways there that we can drum up some more business opportunities, or just like to stay top of mind. And then the BDR team, I'm sure there's some other stuff that they can do with videos when it comes towards some folks that we've done the demos with or whatnot. I think the humanistic standpoint, I know that's a big thing there for you guys, but I was even having a thought, like, what if I'm going in the elevator and I'm just like recording myself with the BombBomb app? Just saying, hey, Darin, it's the end of the day, but I was leaving the office, thought about you. I wanted to send you a quick little video. Hope you guys are doing well, that you and your wife have a great Mother's Day, or whatnot. But it's, that's just like going it's adding to that sales process, but it doesn't have to be the formal sit down and
What you're adding to is your experience that you are providing to that person, that customer, right? It's the experience of working with you that is different. And look, keeping that customer for a long time, increasing lifetime value, that's better for your CFO than the acquisition side. Okay. Guys, acquisition's expensive, more expensive than keeping the customer you have. What Donald just said, it's called gratitude.
Yeah.
And the world needs more of it. A simple, how you doing? Hope you're well. Gosh, can't wait to see you again. Hope you and your wife have a great Mother's Day. It's because I know you and I know you're married. We have a relationship. You're enforcing that relationship. And my experience working with Donald feels like that. That's a big deal. Listen, if you just sent gratitude videos to past customers, I think you'd make more money. And I think people listening would make more money. Just send gratitude. I try to send a video when I get a Salesforce alert. When a certain deal size comes in, I send them a video. I say, hey, Darin Dawson, I'm the co-founder and president of the business. Just want to say thank you for your business. And if there's anything I can ever do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. All my personal information is in this video. Look forward to working with you for a very long time. It's the first video they get. And then they get the onboarding videos from our team, right? But they're all personal. They're not. I say your name, I say your business. I try and do some research on it because I'm not as up to speed as the teams are, but I want to be, right? Those little things matter.
And you gave me another idea too. Like even from my standpoint, I get obviously have access to the CRM, right? And we have a leaderboard, and our team, each day they're hitting up how many appointments they had. Imagine if to help get that appointment across the line, if I were to, I'm just thinking about this, spitball, and I probably could do it and send it back, but just say, hey, Darin, I saw that you scheduled an appointment with Jermaine this upcoming week. I just want to let you know I looked at your company, just something. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today. Hope you're having a great one. Look forward to hearing about how we can help you, if possible, in the future or in next week.
That's that sales experience again.
Yeah.
We plotted on ours. There are 14 points that we feel video is necessary.
Yeah.
That'd be a perfect example of one. And who's that video from? That might be from the VP, might be from the founder, depends. It might be from the AE, might be from the BDR, might be introducing someone else in the team. But we identified these 14 points around the sales cycle. That's about 60 days long. That's our time to close, right? So the point you come in and the BDR gets an appointment, you go through a pilot, the whole thing of a deal size of this size. We got this 60-day framework, and there's 14 videos that got to happen. And we mark when they do happen. We found that our opportunity likely to close goes up.
Bro,
right? So these are markers within the deal. Well, you have lots of markers in the deal. If you get the pilot, that your opportunity to close goes higher, right? Like so as we get to these certain thresholds, and we send this video, we found now our likelihood to close is this, and we want to move that to 100%. And I think it's just when it becomes a part of the DNA. Look, I'm a firm believer, of course I'm very biased, that video should be as important to you in this process as the phone or the computer, or as email is. Because you're bringing your identity of who your company is. Like customer experience is every touch point along that lifetime of that customer. And so how can you get humans and your people involved in this? That's why you hired them, So I really love that idea too, which you said. Now, if you're a founder and you're listening to this, or you got employees, Donald, it sounds like, so you got people, sales rep, right? All right. So the next video you should send is to that rep and tell them, good job. Guys, how are we retaining people? I'm in my basement. Like, I don't get to shake their hand as much as I used to, right? I'm literally in my basement. So we got 160 people at BombBomb. We're hiring people all the time. People are meeting quota. People need you to know that you know who they are, or they're going to get recruited because they're in their basement. They're thinking, maybe I should find something else to do, right? So tell them good job. Tell them welcome to the business. Girl. Yeah, I'm so glad you're here. Gosh, you killed the number this month. So that takes 10 seconds. But if you did it over video versus an email, gosh, I'm telling you, you'll feel good about it and they'll feel good about it. And that's what it's about. Again, feel Can't replicate that in
Oh,
a text.
not at all. Oh, dude, love this. Darin, if there's one major piece of advice you want somebody listening to this episode to walk away with, what's that one major advice?
That your people are your best asset. That your brand are your people.
Yeah.
And we need to get our people living that customer experience out to our customers, existing and soon to be.
Love it. Darin, folks out there want to get in touch with you, want to learn more about you. What's the best way for them to go about doing so?
I'm easy to find on LinkedIn, Darin BombBomb. You'll find me everywhere. My only request is send me a personal message. Doesn't have to be a video, just personal. Tell me you loved what I said about something on Donald's podcast or something, right? So make it personal, guys. It doesn't take that much more time, and you'll get a response.
Darin, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the kind words.
Appreciate you.
Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for the tip. Have a good one, man. That was Mr. Darin Dawson. If you want to get connected with him and also BombBomb, please go down to the description, click on the link, and you can learn more about them. Also, go back to our show notes if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Google, Spotify, or wherever. Click on the link, get back to the website, connect with Darin, and also learn about BombBomb and take advantage of some of the great things they have to offer. Now, speaking about taking advantage of things, if you haven't done so already, our sponsors are giving you some great deals, baby. I can't make this stuff up, and they want you to thrive and succeed. So I want you to go ahead and take advantage of those. You can find all those information in the show notes. As always, I want you to find the right customers for your business. I want you to know what to say when you reach out to them. I want you to know how to close more deals. And we're going to give you all those things in these episodes. But most importantly, I want you to raise your level of thinking. I want you to go out each and every single day and do big things. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video today. If you enjoyed the content, I ask you to go ahead and hit that like button, that thumbs up at the bottom right-hand corner. Also, to make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. This way, we'll keep you up to date with all the latest sales strategies, latest tools, and things that are going to help you to not only find more prospects, but to close more deals. Thanks so much.